I've been asked to record a short video by the editors of the Historical Materialism book series to talk about this book, which came out as part of the book series fairly recently, and it's available as a paperback with Haymarket, so you should be able to find it on the Haymarket website. It's called Debord, Time and Spectacle, Hegelian Marxism and Situationist Theory, and it's a book about Debord and the Situationists, and more specifically, it's focusing on Debord's use of Hegel and Marx and related authors. It tries to say how his interest in Hegel and Marx informs the kind of things he says in works like The Society of the Spectacle, and how those ideas might inform the kind of things the Situationists are saying more broadly. It puts particular emphasis on Debord's ideas about time and temporality, the emphasis on history that you find throughout an awful lot of his work. And it tries to contend that essentially what you find within this stuff, if you focus on that idea about temporality and the way in which it's shaped by his peculiarly French existential understanding of Hegel and its connection to Marx, what you essentially get from this really is basically kind of a philosophy of praxis. And the book tries to piece that together to say a little bit about what it might actually look like. In order to do so, it tries to take in as much of Debord's work as possible. It talks about his books, his films, his letters, his archive material, and it interprets that textual evidence in the light of the kind of stuff that he refers to and the kind of books that he himself was reading and the stuff he had in his library. And through doing so, I hope this gives you a way of looking at Debord's work in a fairly kind of holistic manner. The emphasis on temporality, I think, allows you to draw connections between elements of his work which otherwise might seem fairly separate from one another, such as his interest in strategy and military history, for example. You can see how that might relate to his interest in Hegel, the concept of spectacle and the notion of the situation, his interest in negation and life and all the rest of these things. I think it becomes possible to tie an awful lot of these things together and look at them as a relatively unified whole. This, I think, gives you a particular take on the concept of spectacle. I've tried to argue that the whole notion of spectacle isn't really just a critique of the mass media, as is sometimes seems to be assumed. It's not just about modern visual culture. The Situation's not just an art movement. Essentially, the Society of the Spectacle I tried to show is really a book about a society that's become separated from its own history. And I try to say a little bit about what that might actually mean, what it might look like. And yeah, I hope you like it. You should be able to get it on the Haymarket website, and that's that.